Imagine a world where secrets were etched in ancient ink, where tales of extraordinary wisdom and forbidden knowledge were whispered across the ages. What if I told you that buried within the annals of history lie mysterious books? Books deliberately kept out of the spotlight, hidden away from curious eyes. Why did the sands of time shroud the Book of Enoch, relegating it to the shadows, only cherished by a few? What truths about creation did the Enuma Elish hold that made it an enigma? And who was Aikar, and why did his story, so rich with wisdom, vanish into the depths of the past? In this expedition through time, we will unveil the enigmatic narratives of the mysterious books they tried to erase from history. We will journey through forgotten ages, deciphering ancient scripts and exploring the tales that challenge the norms of their era. Brace yourself for a voyage of curiosity, for the answers to these riddles lie in the whispers of the past, waiting for you to decipher them. Are you ready to unravel the secrets that were nearly lost to time? The absence of the Book of Enoch from the Christian Bible, apart from the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, has raised questions about why it was excluded from the biblical canon. Enoch, a significant figure in the Bible, was the great-grandfather of Noah and lived during a time when people typically lived exceptional long lives. The Book of Enoch is a collection of writings composed over several centuries, from Enoch's time to around 137 BC. It contains a mixture of prophecies and messianic predictions, some of which have been corroborated, while others are claimed to be historical inaccurate. Its complex nature has led biblical scholars to classify it as doubtful. It contains unique material on the origins of demons, the Nephilim, the fall of angels, the moral necessity of the Genesis flood, and a prophetic exposition of the 1,000-year reign of the Messiah. The primary reason for the Book of Enoch's exclusion from the Old Testament canon lies in the doubts about its authenticity. While some parts reflect an actual words and actions of Enoch, many scholars believe that various authors modified and added to different sections over time. For example, there is a speculation that a section discussing astronomy was added by a Jewish Christian in the 2nd century AD, attributing to his thoughts and beliefs to Enoch. The book's history of alterations and inconsistencies raised concerns about its authentic authorship and divine inspiration. Although it's quoted in the New Testament by Jude, such quotations do not automatically grant a text canonical status. Ethiopian Jews regard the Book of Enoch as part of their canonical scriptures, valuing its teachings as gospel. However, for most Christian denominations, the decision was made to exclude it from the official biblical canon. It is essential to approach the Book of Enoch with caution and discernment. Recognize its unique insights into pre-Jesus era interpretations of the Old Testament. While it offers valuable historical and theological perspectives, it is not equated with the canonical Bible and is considered more of a historical interpretive source. And if the mysteries of giants and fallen angels intrigue you, take advantage of our captivating video, Nephilim and the Fallen Angels, Secret History of Giants, on our channel. Shifting our gaze to ancient Babylonia, we encounter the Enuma Elish, a foundational text that sheds light on the beliefs about creation. Engraved on clay tablets discovered in abandoned cities like Ashur, Kish, and Nineveh, this tale of creation unfolds through a succession of chaotic events. The narrative begins with the formless swirling chaos of water. Two gods from this premortal state emerged, Apsu, symbolizing fresh water, and Tiamat, representing bitter salt water. Their union spawned younger gods, whose presence proved irksome to Apsu, prompting an evil plot to annihilate them. However, Tiamat intervened, informing her offspring of Apsu's murderous intent. A fierce battle ensued between the elder gods and the newly arisen ones. In the epic climax, Marduk, a younger god, emerges as the hero, slaying Tiamat and using her remains to craft the cosmos. This epic creation tale underwent a significant transformation during the reign of Hammurabi, around 1792 to 1750 BC. Hammurabi elevated Marduk to the position of chief god, ushering in a new chapter in Mesopotamian religion. The Enuma Elish symbolized the triumph of order over chaos, with Marduk as the central figure in a pantheon of deities. Picture this: a world shaped by warring gods, a cosmos birthed from chaos and conflict. The Enuma Elish tells a creation story quite unlike others, challenging established beliefs. Could this clash of ideas be why some sought to hide it? The epic hints a multitude of deities, each with unique powers. This contrasts sharply with the concept of a single, all-powerful God in many belief systems, to maintain the status quo of a monotheistic religions. You can watch the intriguing video, Secrets of Enki, Enuma Elish, and the Cosmic Legends on the channel of our friends from Miracle Chronicles. And don't forget to subscribe. Aikar's narrative, woven in the loom of Assyrian and Aramaic cultures, stood apart from the predominant Jewish records of the Bible. It boasts many elements, proverbs and myths, and culture hues that added a distinct vibrancy, but perhaps made it seem a misfit amidst the more uniform biblical text. The story of Aikar, steeped in antiquity and wisdom, unfolds intricately and deeply. Aikar, a revered advisor of King Sennacherib of Assyria, was renowned for his knowledge. However, being childless, he adopted his nephew Nadin, nurturing him to be successor in the royal court. Aikar used a series of sayings to educate Nadin, calling him good apple, but rotten at the core. Tragically, this endeavor was met with betrayal. Nadin forged Aikar's signature and seal, falsely implicating him in treason against nearby sovereigns. The tale turns harrowing as Nadin accuses Aikar as of treason against King Sennacherib, leading to Aikar's condemnation to death. Fate intervened with the executioner, a former acquaintance whose life Aikar had saved, substituted a condemned criminal in Aikar's place. Later, an urgent need for Aikar's wisdom arose when Assyria faced a provocation from Egypt. Despite Aikar's physical deterioration, he displayed his wisdom by ingeniously solving the challenge posed by the Egyptian king. This fate led to Aikar's restoration to his original position. It is said that this ancient tale, despite its wisdom and moral depth, suffered from a lack of uniformity and detailed consistency, a departure from the structured narratives often found within the sacred Bible. When the ancient texts were selected for the sacred canon, Aikar's narrative might have needed to meet the rigorous selection criteria of the religious authorities. The selection process favored alignment with religious doctrines, association with recognized prophets, and adherence to established beliefs. Let us know in the comments, would you like us to make a detailed video looking at the story of Aikar in detail? The story of Mormon creation, as depicted in the Book of Mormon, intricately weaves through the realms of history, language, and theological divergence. Since its unveiling in 1830, this text has stood as sacred to the Latter-day Saint movement, presenting what they believe to be the writings of ancient prophets from the American continent, spanning a vast time from 2200 BC to AD 421. Joseph Smith, the messenger of God in Mormon doctrine, is central to this narrative. He unraveled a distinctive interpretation of the Genesis, where a heavenly Father, accompanied by countless heavenly mothers, birthed spirit babies, including Jesus and Lucifer. The latter's rebellion set forth a cosmic drama. Interestingly, Mormons perceive matter as eternal, echoing the traditional notion of a clear starting point for creation. It was more of a reorganization than a conventional creation, involving biblical figures like Adam, Enoch, Noah, and others as celestial architects. Earth, initially a realm of spirits, gradually took on tangible form and life. A pivotal junction emerged with Lucifer tempting Eve, instigating the fall and shifting the world from terrestrial to telestial, a realm of moral understanding. Despite its title, the telestial world isn't akin to heaven. It's a domain of genuine unawareness. In Mormon belief, the celestial world undergoes a cyclical rejuvenation spanning millennia. This tale isn't just about creation, but the purpose of life, to evolve from moral unawareness to understanding, ultimately accumulating into eternal heavenly splendor. Yet critics raise valid queries. They question the Book of Mormon's ancient origin, suggesting it may be a creation of Joseph Smith and collaborators, drawing from the intellectual millennia of the 19th century, rather than translating an old record. Furthermore, scholarly scrutiny has cast doubt on the book's accuracy in portraying the indigenous people of the Americas, pointing to linguistic or archaeological and historical inconsistency with its text. This dual perspective adds layers to the narrative, inviting deeper reflection on faith, history, and culture interpretation.
There are many mysteries in this world that continue to haunt us, no matter how much we want to ignore them. From the secrets hidden in the Egyptian pyramids to the coded meanings in Shakespeare's works, there is much we don't know about our history and the people who lived far before us. If you have read the Bible, you may have noticed that not everything is included in its original version. There are a number of verses, chapters, and even entire books that have been omitted for one reason or another. It is not unusual for people to forget things or have black spots in their memory. What if there is something extremely important that we have forgotten? If the fragments of information we have are deliberately hiding between their lines something even more ominous about our world? Fortunately, many of the missing writings have been discovered and restored over time by various historians and religious leaders. However, there is a theory that the missing pages of the Bible reveal frightening knowledge about the human race that we prefer to forget. In this video, we will examine this very theory that has been completely ignored by the mainstream media. It is not proven in any way, so don't take what is said in this video at face value. Which is the lost chapter of the Bible? A lost chapter of the Bible is a name given to a chapter that some people believe was removed from an earlier version of the Bible. It is not clear exactly when or why this happened, but experts believe it happened sometime between 200 BC and 100 AD. Many actual texts that are missing from the pages of the Bible. Many pages have been removed for political reasons and threats to the Christian community. This is somewhat logical, because it is no secret that organized religion can be very dangerous when used with impure intent. Who wrote the lost chapter of the Bible? The author of the lost chapter of the Bible is actually unknown. Some people think Mark, Luke, or John wrote it. In reality, however, no one knows for sure. There are suggestions that it was written by Judas Iscariot, but this is only one of the theories. The author may have been a follower of Jesus, but it may also have been a government official or other person in authority. In circles familiar with the subject, it is claimed that the author of this chapter is Jewish. This is because it is supposed to be about the Jewish people and Jewish practices. Is this scary knowledge real? You have to judge that for yourself. Some people believe that the lost chapter reveals information about the origin of the human race. According to them, the writing reveals information about the Dark Ages and the time before the fall of Rome. It also gives information about the things that happened during the time that people have forgotten. According to many, this information is meant to be forgotten. It is too dangerous for the human race to remember and reveals something too terrifying for us to deal with. What does the lost chapter reveal? The lost chapter of the Bible is supposed to be very large in volume and reveal a huge amount of information. Some of this information, according to those in the know, is false because it is likely that the author himself was tempted to point out something more. As we said, the assumed amount of knowledge in this chapter is huge, so in the remaining minutes of the video, we will try to summarize it as best as possible. Ancient civilizations in the lost chapter of the Bible. Another theory about the lost chapter of the Bible is that it reveals that ancient civilizations were much more advanced than we think. To date, we have archaeological findings from civilizations that either moved or were destroyed. However, by analyzing these records, scientists have only been able to make assumptions about the cultures that existed before. We know that the ancient Romans and Greeks were very advanced, but some people believe that they were not the only ones. They believe that the lost chapter will reveal that ancient civilizations such as the Egyptian, Chinese, and Mesopotamian were much more advanced than we think. It is possible that the missing information reveals that the ancients discovered certain things long before us. Origin of man according to the lost chapter of the Bible. There are theories that the lost texts reveal where people came from. Among lovers of this theory, the belief that humanity was created by extraterrestrial life forms is widespread. These creatures may have genetically modified existing primates and turned them into what we are now, or alternatively, something completely different. This theory is called the ancient astronaut theory. In fact, it is not someone's invention at all, but the result of a new, revolutionary scientific study, which suggests that a single couple created the rest of modern humans about 200,000 years ago. A study has found that all humans are descended from a single pair, and 9 out of 10 animal species are also descended from a specific pair. This is what the research published by the scientists of the University of Basel, Switzerland, and the Rockefeller University, New York, USA, says. To reach this conclusion, scientists examined the genetic barcodes of 5 million animals, including humans, of 100,000 different species, and came to the conclusion that we descended from a single mature pair. A number of religious groups who have got it in a wrong way in terms to believe that all humans miraculously appeared in some massive biological event some 200,000 years ago have already misinterpreted the study. We will not delve more scientifically into this frightening idea, but it does make some sense. Many ancient relics have convincing drawings that actually depict extraterrestrial beings. The lost chapter of the Bible, in turn, may reveal that humankind was actually created by God. It can explain how we came to be and why there are so many similarities between us and other animal species. There are stories in the Bible that say God created the world and all its life forms. The change in the human race. The lost chapter of the Bible is believed to reveal that a change occurred in the human race. It is a change that makes people forget some things and become quite ordinary. The chapter also reveals that no one knows why or how this change happened. The only thing that is known is that people suddenly became much simpler and forgot a lot of information. It is also supposed to contain information confirming the fact that the human race was once very advanced, perhaps even more advanced than today. 6 days of creation according to the lost chapter of the Bible. Some people believe that the missing text holds the key to understanding the 6 days of creation. It is widely believed that God created the world in 6 days. It is said to be a metaphor for God's omnipotence and control over the universe. However, some people take the 6 days not as literally as others do. They believe that the lost chapter will explain how long each day was, because according to their theory, each day of creation is an epoch. An epoch is a unit of time often used in geology. It is a division of time that is used to separate different periods and events. The fall of mankind according to the lost chapter of the Bible. Unfortunately, in these mythical writings, we can reveal that the fall of mankind was not a one-time event. It is widely believed that the fall of mankind occurred when Adam and Eve ate the fruit from the tree of knowledge. Some people believe that the fall occurred because mankind disobeyed God and rebelled against his divine rule. On the other side is the theory that it happened long before that. According to her, humanity lived in a world where it was the only species. It lived in a perfect environment that was completely controlled by God. There was no death, sickness, or calamity of any kind. Everything was perfect, but there was nothing to do. Mankind didn't have to earn anything. It did not need to work. All people had to do was spend their days doing what they wanted. From this, it follows that the fall of mankind occurred as a result of a state of boredom. This has made people want more. The bleak future of mankind according to the lost chapter of the Bible. If we look to the future, many believe these mythical lines share that it will be bleak for humanity. Even now in the Bible, there are many stories about the end of the world. They speak of events such as the blackening of the sun and the turning of the moon into blood. These stories are often used to get people to follow God and live a virtuous life. But what if these stories are actually warnings? What if the supposed lost chapter of the Bible reveals that humanity's future is filled with destruction and death? Many interpretations of these warnings are possible, but they may also be signs that the future of humanity will be bleak. Some believe it will be filled with viruses, disease, and epidemics. Others that unprecedented floods are ahead. Forbidden knowledge according to the lost chapter of the Bible. A lost chapter of the Bible can reveal that there is a lot of information that we are not supposed to know. The Bible is full of stories of people who were punished for seeking forbidden knowledge. There are stories of people being killed for asking questions and trying to understand the universe around them. There are also stories of people being punished for trying to create new things. These stories are supposed to scare people into not asking questions. They must make them fear the unknown. According to one theory, the lost chapter reveals why people must be kept in the dark. What does it all mean? This can mean a few different things. That our history is not what we think it is. That we are on the verge of something very scary. And that we are extremely close to making a huge mistake. Or that it would be best for us to forget about the lost chapter of the Bible. That is, if we believe it is too dangerous for us to know the truth. On the one hand, many people think that we should know and remember it because it reveals information that can save us from dangerous mistakes. Either way, the lost chapter of the Bible remains mythical. However, many people are convinced of its existence. According to some, it has simply not been discovered yet. And according to others, it has already been found, but it is kept in strict secrecy. If you like what we do, you can support us by sharing this video with your friends.